Hi everyone, this revision video is just going to focus on the arithmetic operators which you need for GCSE Computer Science OCR and the main ones you need in the exam paper. We'll go over some basics and then we will look at some typical exam questions, and then I'll also do a bit of programming to kind of show how it's kind of used in Python. Okay, so quick reminder, these are the arithmetic operators which you need to know for GCSE Computer Science. Relatively straightforward. So plus, minus, star means multiply, slash means divide. Now, if you do, I'd recommend using these in your algorithms rather than using, for example, divide, or if you use the cross multiply. Now, the reason being is that could be confused with an x as a variable. So if use the star if you can. Okay, so modulus, okay, is what's called modular division. Okay, it tells you the remainder. So when you're using the mod, okay, you're taking this first number, and you are something mod something, and it tells you the remainder after you divide that by that. So for example, 12 divided by 5, well, 5 goes into 12 with a 2 remainder. So mod gives you the remainder. So for example, if we had 8 mod 3, okay, so 3 fits into 8 twice with a remainder of 2, because 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so that's going to give you 2. Okay, div does the opposite. This is what's called floor division. Okay, also called the quotient. So 17 divided by 5. So how many times does 5 fit into 17? Okay, ignoring remainders. So 5 times 3 is 15, so it's going to give 3. So if we did, let's say, 20 div 7. Okay, so how many times will 7 fit into 20? Well, 3 7s are 21, so it's not going to go in. 2 7s are 14, remainder 6. So that's going to give 2 again, because 7 fits into 20 twice with a remainder of 6. Well, the next one, which we haven't really done much about, is this little arrow, which means exponential. In other words, to the power of. Okay, so if you see this, okay, I will get a hang of this one day. So 3, 4. That's basically, you'd write it. Right, this is really frustrating me. Okay, 3 to the power of 4, which is the same as saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, that's just the symbol we use in programming. Okay, or we do use in our algorithms in OCR. Okay, so 3 2 exponent 2 is basically 3 squared. 3 squared equals 3 times 3. Okay, right. There's some simple questions. Well, not some simple questions, some relatively straightforward questions. Pause the video, have a go, get your brain working, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so let's do the first one. So 30 mod 7. So this is saying, well, what's 30 divided by 7, and what's the remainder? Okay, so I'm not going to my 7 times table. So let's do 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So 1 times 7 is 7, 2 is 14, 3 is 20, 4 is 28, 5 is 35. Okay, so I can see there that the nearest one, without going over 30, is going to be 4. So 30 divided by 7 is equal to 4 with a remainder of 2, because 4 7s are 28, 30 take away 28 is 2. So the answer to this is equal to 2, because it's the remainder. Okay, next one, probably the most difficult. Okay, 124 div 9. I'll try and do this without using a calculator. So let's just rub out my 7s, and let's do my 9 times table up here. Okay, so 9 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. Okay, let's keep on going. That's 10. And we've got 99, 108. Okay, 117. Okay, and then 1, 2, 6. I think that's right. Let's see, 1999 plus 908 plus 9. Okay, so that's 10 nines, that's 11, that's 12, that's 13, that's 14. Okay, so the answer, so how many times does 9 fit into 124? Okay, so it's going to be, so 1, 2, 4 divided by 9 is equal to, what's going to be 13. What's our remainder? Okay, what's going to be 124 take away 100, so it's going to remainder 7. Now because it's div, we can ignore the remainder, so the answer here is going to be 13. Okay, I've never seen anything that difficult to do in the exam because you don't get a calculator. Okay, next one. So this one, it's really important that BIDMAS does apply. BIDMAS, BODMAS, whatever you do. So brackets, order or indices, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So the way I do it, well, B, any brackets. Let's do these first. What's in the bracket? 5, take away 2. That now becomes 3. Okay, any indices? No. Any division? No. Any multiplication? Yes. 3 times 3 becomes 9. Then any addition? 9 plus 2. That makes 11. Okay. Next one. Brackets, none. Indices, orders, no. Division, yes. Let's do our division. Let's do this one. 3 divided by 2. Okay, what's half of 3 is 1.5. 4.4 divided by 2 is 2.2. That just leaves add them together. So 2.2 plus 1.5 makes 3.7. Okay, last one. Did anybody get this? 28 plus 32. Now, the key thing here is the quote marks. That indicates a string. Okay, so what that plus is doing in this indicate, it's not adding numbers together, it's linking the strings together. What's also called concatenating, joining the strings together. So the answer here would be a new string of 2832. Okay. So we've just done that. BIDMAS, BODMAS. I'm not going to go through that again. So here's a typical question. All right. So Benedict is writing a program to calculate how many tables would be required at a wedding. If you have plans to get married, this is probably where most of your arguments will occur over, number one, who gets to go, how many, because you are limited how many people can go, so you have to choose who gets to go, who doesn't get to go, and number two, who sits where on each table. Okay, and you have to do a table seating plan. Basically, I just let my wife do it. Gentlemen, boys, girls, whoever, just let the other one do it. It's going to save you a lot of arguments. Okay, so let's imagine that we've got a venue and we need to work out how many tables we require at the wedding. Each table can hold 10 people. Okay, so this program, the following algorithm calculates how many tables are required, as well as if there are any leftover guests who won't fit on a table. So basically what we have to do, okay, we can look at this program. So we input the number of guests. Then we have a variable that's going to calculate how many tables we need by taking our guests and using floor division divided by 10. Okay, so why does it do that? Okay, so why does it use div? Because what it's going to do, it's going to take the total number of guests divided by 10 to work out how many tables we need. Now what the leftovers does, it uses the mod operator to work out the remainders, how many are left over. Okay, so for example, let's imagine we have got 83 people on our guest list. Okay, so we type our guests in as 83. So tables is going to be 83 div 10. So in other words, 83 divided by 10. Okay, that's going to give us 8 remainder 3. So that gives us 8 tables. Okay. Now what this does, it does exactly the same thing. It does 83 mod 10, and it tells you what the remainder is, 8 remainder 3. So the answer is going to be 3 left over. Okay. Now that's fine. The difficulty here is this, is our keyword, which is explain the use of div in the above algorithm. How do you put it into words? Okay, especially in this context. Right, pause it, have a go. Right then. So how can we explain this? So in order to get 2 marks, we have to show or understand what div does and then apply it to how it works in this context. So we can say div uses floor division. That shows you understand what div means. Okay, floor division. Okay, to find out the number of tables required, when dividing the number of guests by 10. And ignoring the remainder. Okay. Div uses floor division to find out the number of tables. That shows the application to this scenario. It uses floor division. You understand what div does to find out the number of tables required in this particular context when dividing the number of guests by 10 and ignoring the remainder. We could even do an example. So e.g. We'll do this example. We're done 83 div 10 equals 8. Okay. So let's try the next one. So what does mod do? Mod finds the remainder brackets after division. No space. After division of the number of guests divided by 10. Okay, let's do another e.g. 83 mod 10 equals 3. There we go. So the key thing here is you clearly say what div and mod do and say how it's used in this context. So div uses floor division and it works out how many tables are required when you divide by the number of guests. Okay. Mod finds the remainder of the number of guests divided by 10. Okay. Here's the mark scheme for it. So what could you say? So instead of floor division, you could say what's called the word quotient, or integer division, or division given an integer answer, ignoring the remainder. That shows your understanding of what div is. 1 mark. Okay. Of the input value of the guest divided by 10, finds the number of tables required. Right. First bullet point is awarded for identifying that this finds the quotient and uses floor division. There's your focus. Do not simply accept division. If you just do division, okay, you're going to end up, if you've got a number with no remainder, you're going to end up with a decimal, which is no good in this context. The second bullet point identifies the values awarded for identification of values used in the correct order. Input value divided by 10. Okay. So the same one for the second one, finds the modulus, the remainder after division. Same thing again. First bullet point, award if identified finds the remainder. Do not simply accept mod as this is in the question. Okay, we've got to assume that the person really doesn't know what mod means. You're explaining what it is. Okay, the second bullet point is to show an example essentially. Okay, so that is basically all we're going to go through today. I'm just going to finish off by, I'm just going to show you a Python version of this program. how you'd go about doing it. So feel free to stop the video if you're quite confident with it. Let's have a look at how this would work in Python. Okay, so where are we going to here? So what I'll do, let's put that on the left, and let's put that on the right. Okay, hopefully my text is nice and big so you can see it. So I have a variable called guests. Okay, enter guests. Okay, I'll try and keep it short so it fits on the screen. Okay, that's what we're doing there. We're just casting it as an integer because so by default the input will take whatever you type in as a string. Normally we can do this on the same line. I'm just doing it on the line below to save a bit of space so it doesn't go on for too long. It is good practice to maybe do a different line like that when you're doing casting. Right, so tables is equal to guests. We're using div, so in Python you just do 2 slashes, 2 divides for floor division. Okay, guest div 10 leftovers is equal to guests, and for mod we use the percentage in Python. Okay, and that's it. So we can do print, and then we'll say tables got to be cast. No, we'll do it this way. Tables, we'll just use a comma. Tables required, and we'll do leftovers, guests, leftover. They can stand up or kick him out or whatever. We can just get rid of those 3. Okay, let's see if it runs. Let's call it wedding. Oh. Only if it's a character after line continuation. Ah, got me slashes the wrong way around. Silly me, I think. See if that's it. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's move that down so you can see. That's the number of guests. Let's have 83. 8 tables required. 3 guests we need to get rid of. Okay. Hope that's been useful. Nice and short one today. More to come. All right. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye bye.